I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.
Ducati team manager Davide Tardozzi talks about the 2024 Austrian MotoGP and assures that Marc Marquez will win at least one race. One of Ducati's key players has spoken about how the Austrian MotoGP went, where they won after putting 3 GP24 bikes on the podium and Marquez in 4th place. Everything seems to indicate that the fight for the World Championship will once again be between Francesco Bagnaia and Jorge Martin, but Bastianini and Marquez should not be ruled out either. Tardozzi said that Marquez could have won the 2024 Austrian MotoGP. The holder of 6 MotoGP world titles intended to compete for the podium, but some problems at the start of the race delayed him to 13th position and he had to fight back. I had warned that Marquez would fight for the victory on Sunday, and if we look at the second part of the race, he was the fastest rider on the track, Tardozzi said. With a good start, he could have been in contention for the podium and maybe even the victory, Tardozzi said. Ducati are also looking forward to Marquez's first win on their bike and whether this season can be better than the next. However, Tardozzi prefers to focus on the upcoming races. And here is the full news. Gresini racing rider Marc Marquez is believed to still have the potential for at least one win in the 2024 MotoGP. MotoGP 2024 has completed its 11th race last weekend at the Red Bull Ring, Austria, where Marc Marquez still hasn't broken the egg. Yes, the rider nicknamed Baby Alien is expected by many to be able to at least win one victory in MotoGP 2024. In his latest appearance at the 2024 Austrian MotoGP, Marquez still showed a competitive performance with his Ducati Desmosedici GP23 bike. In the main race session, the 31-year-old rider started not easily after nudging Pramac Racing's Franco Morbidelli. The incident sent Marquez off the track and out of the top 10 after starting third. Slowly, the winner of 8 world titles was able to recover his position and ended the 28-lap race in 4th place. Seeing Marquez's action last weekend, Ducati manager Davide Tardozzi also commented, "The Italian man was convinced that Marquez would be able to appear competitive and open up opportunities for good results. I have warned that Marc Marquez will fight for victory in Sunday's race," said Tardozzi. Although he was behind, Tardozzi said that Marquez could actually win because his racing rhythm was getting better. And if we look at the second half of the race, he was the fastest rider on the track, said Tardozzi. With a good start, he could have competed for the podium or maybe the victory, he added, reported by Motosan. Despite showing confidence in Marquez to win this season, Tardozzi emphasized that he is still focused on his team. Yes, Tardozzi is still intensely guarding his mainstay duo Francesco Bagnaia and Enea Bastianini to be able to perform better from time to time. The two riders are still his priority, even though Marc Marquez will be anchored to his team next season, replacing Bastianini. Tardozzi also cannot turn a blind eye to the great potential and ability that the 31-year-old rider still has. "Now we are focused on our championship. Marquez will be with us next season," said Tardozzi. "But at the moment our official riders are Bagnaia and Bastianini, so we hope they can get the best results. However, we cannot close our eyes and we know Marquez has great potential. And we will enjoy that next year, but he will win races before the end of this season," he added. Tardozzi said that Marquez could have won the 2024 Austrian MotoGP. The holder of 6 MotoGP world titles intended to compete for the podium, but some problems early in the race delayed him to 13th position and he had to fight back. "I had warned that Marquez would fight for the win on Sunday, and if we look at the second part of the race, he was the fastest rider on the track," said Tardozzi. With a good start, he could have competed for the podium and maybe even the victory, Tardozzi said. Ducati are also looking forward to Marquez's first win on their bike and whether this season can be better than the next. However, Tardozzi prefers to focus on the upcoming races. "Now we are focused on our championship. Marc will be with us next year," said Tardozzi. "But at the moment our official riders are Pecco and Enea, so we hope they can get the best results. Even so, we are not closing our eyes and we know that Marc has great potential. and we will enjoy next year, but he will win the race before the end of the season. On the other hand, Marc Marquez was almost the source of disaster at the 2024 Austrian MotoGP. Various contacts due to technical errors on his bike made him seen as lost from the start. Marquez's confidence and hopes of reaching the podium in the Austrian MotoGP series on Sunday faded instantly from the start. Even when the race before starting, Marquez's position on the starting grid was already scented with defeat. The assessment was expressed by a number of MotoGP commentators, Michael Laverty, Simon Crawford to WSBK racer Alex Lowes. Marquez was considered to have lost since before the start of the green light due to a technical error on his Desmoceticide GP23 bike. The Gresini racer experienced problems with his starter device, aka the ride height device. Launching from Paddock GP, Marquez could not make the position of his motorcycle aligned on the grid because it failed to activate the trim correction system correctly. Thus, the start of his race was forced to be carried out with a motorbike that was not in a down position or higher than the normal position. A condition that made it difficult for him to start the first lap and was clearly more disadvantaged than other riders. Once I saw the bike was not ready, the device was not activated, the race was over, said Alex Lowes. Too bad for him. Marc should be able to fight for the podium, but his race ended in the first 10 seconds for him, said Sam Lowes' brother. Apart from the ride height device problem, Marquez also started problems with the front tire of his bike. A few minutes before the race started, there was damage to the valve of Marquez's front tire and made the temperature in the tire too cold. The technical problems on Marquez's motorbike began to spread when he touched Franco Morbidelli Prima Pramac. It was clear that Marquez was struggling to control his own bike as the first lap began. Marquez and Morbidelli immediately slid into the runoff zone at turn 1. At the halfway point of the race, Marquez also nearly caused Jack Miller, Red Bull KTM, and himself to crash. His right arm touched Miller's rear tire and the two made contact. Despite surviving all these incidents, the 8-time world champion's performance still caused concern.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad. After her there ain't no coming back. Wanna take a run at that. I think she's feeling me, turn it up a few degrees. My imagination of her body gets the best of me. Oh gosh, she's such a tease, bitten lips, bruised knees. I'm addicted to her, need her touching me, cause she got a bad little waist, and we tearing down this place.